My name is Maya, and today I'll be presenting my capstone project. Have you ever wondered if sometime in the future people could ride flying cars and other transports like that? Lucky you, because my project, as you can see, is future transportation. You'll get to learn and explore the types of common future transportation people will actually use, and the types of future transportation and how it's going to impact society. First of all, there are many different types of transport you can use, but I'm only going to talk about 3 of them. One of them is called the Hyperloop. It was called this because it was kind of going loop. But the creator of the Hyperloop, Elon Musk, makes other types of transports too. Going up to 760 miles per hour, the Hyperloop is a proposed mode of passenger and freight transportation that will propel like a pod-like vehicle through a reduced pressure tube that would go faster than a plane. The pod would accelerate to cruising speed gradually using a linear electric motor that would glide above their track using passive magnetic levitation or air bearings. The tubes could also go above ground on columns or underground, eliminating the dangers of grade crossings. Passengers would traverse the 350-mile route at an average speed of 760 miles per hour, which is a great improvement compared to the current travel time of about 6 hours. Some pros for the Hyperloop is that Musk's vision sees the Hyperloop as a 400-mile-long network of above-ground tubes with very low air pressure inside of them, which allows bus-sized capsules to travel through those tubes at near supersonic speeds. Another pro is that since Hyperloops are sealed tubes, they're protected from the elements like birds and falling trees, as well as human dangers like cars stalled on railroad tracks. And another pro is that Hyperloops have a natural fail-safe system, and the equipment or electrical failure, they glide to a halt rather than falling out of the sky or going off the road into a river. Finally, the last con is automated operation reduces the risk of going too fast and crashing into the end station, exceed safe G-forces on turns, or any number of things people can mess up. Now for some cons. One con is that evacuated tubes could be dangerous, leading to deadly decompression of the passenger space if the pod seals fail, or if the system is buggy or hacked. Another con is that the tubes can be hard to get out of. If the pod does fail and gets stuck for some reason, it may be hard to escape. Presumably, a system would be built that would pressurize the tube and safely allow people to open the pod and open some sort of hatch to help the people get out. Also, if the thermal management system fails and the pod doesn't stop quickly enough, the people in the pod could get really hot and cold. The cost of the Hyperloop is also very important. Can you guess what it is? Think about it for a moment. It's several $1 billion due to construction and operation costs. Another transportation that people are probably looking forward to are self-driving cars or driverless cars. Self-driving cars are basically like regular cars, except obviously there isn't any driver. Car makers like someone called Volkswagen and General Motors say that they're almost ready to begin selling driverless cars on the market in possibly 3 or 4 years. People will no longer have to spend thousands of dollars on a new car. Instead, when they need to get somewhere, they can simply call for a driverless taxi. Some pros about the self-driving car are that driving to and from work will be easy. Instead of being tiring, it will be relaxing. Passengers will be able to catch up on their reading or finish with favorite TV shows. Another pro is that supporters claim having millions of driverless cars will improve highway safety. Driverless cars will make even the far suburbs more convenient places to live. Another pro is that driverless cars could completely change the way Americans think about where they live. Traveling from suburb to city center will become much less tiring. People will no longer have to do the driving themselves. Because of that, people will feel less need to live where they work. They'll no longer be forced to pay high rents and taxes, and people will no longer have to spend thousands of dollars on a new car. And another pro is that since the driverless car is a computer, there's only a few ways for it to get distracted. Some cons are that driverless cars are guided by computers. If those computers rely on information about roads that's loaded into them. If something on the road changes, they're lost. For instance, they wouldn't obey a new stop sign. They also have problems figuring out when objects such as bits of paper and garbage are harmless. For that reason, they can change course suddenly for no reason. Such sudden shifts can make crashes more likely. Another con is that the cost of implementing the new technology could be way out of reach for most Americans. Currently, the engineering, power, and computer requirements, software, and sensors add up to more than $100,000. One last con is that, think about it, the gas stations will be suffering terribly since driverless cars are electric. They're going to lose money and maybe eventually close. The final type of transportation I'll be discussing are tunnels. Created by the Boring Company, tunnels can go up to 124 miles per hour. To solve the soul-destroying traffic, roads have to go 3D, which either means flying cars or tunnels. However, flying cars have issues with weather, noise, and they generally increase the anxiety levels of the people below them. A large network of road tunnels, many levels deep, would fit congestion in any city, no matter how large you grow. Just keep adding levels. The key to making this work is increasing tunneling speed and dropping costs. Okay, then why tunnels? To value transportation corridors, like the buildings that feed into them, must expand into 3 dimensions. One option is to go up with flying cars. The reason nobody has done this before is that currently tunnels are really expensive to dig, with some projects costing as much as $1 billion per mile. Some pros to this are, they're weatherproof, there's no practical limit to how many tunnels can be built, so any level of traffic can be addressed. Tunnel construction and operations are sound to anyone on the surface, and tunnels don't divide communities and barriers with lines. Another pro is that tunnels are good because they can allow different kinds of traffic to move without interruption. For example, pedestrians can use a tunnel that cuts under the road surface so cars don't have to slow down. One con is that if there's a natural disaster, for example an earthquake or a hurricane, the tunnels can be damaged and people could possibly be killed. In case you were wondering what tunnels look like, here's a brief video from the Boring Company showing a car inside a tunnel. I hope you learned a lot about future transportation. Thank you. For more information, here's a link to my blog where you can learn more about my project.